You didn't ask, but we're going to be talking about the 2025-2026 NBA season. I'm Jory.
I'm Spencer.
And I'm Justin.
Yeah. So normally, this channel we do a lot of movie reviews and video game stuff, music, whatever, but every once in a while we'll sprinkle in some sports talk and with the NBA season starting next Tuesday on October 21st, we may as well preview it. So looking forward to it. Yeah. Unfortunately, Mr. Toby, he couldn't join us today, but it's okay. Maybe next time. I don't even know if he was on the last one. I think he was. But yeah. Any words before we jump into it? Anything you guys want to say?
Shout out to Toby.
No.
Shout out to Toby. Sort of shout out to the Nets. They got 5 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to be nice.
Didn't do nothing with them.
Not necessarily.
He said none of them are going to be nice.
Oh my gosh. We'll see.
Nah, that would be legendary in and of itself, though. 5
If
first-round
all of them
picks
hit.
and none of them hit. That would be a curse.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the curse lives on. Should have never left New Jersey.
Facts.
All right. Well, yeah, what do we got here? About 7 questions or so that we'll run through, previewing some major awards, our finals pick. But I want to start with this, and this kind of goes into tandem with the, I guess, most improved award, but not necessarily who you think is going to win most improved, but who's a player that you think is going to have a breakout season this year in the 2025-2026 NBA season?
I got three picks for this one, so I'll try my best to go nice and quick. I feel like most people would agree with this first one. Amen Thompson. Had a great rookie season. Everybody knows, freakishly athletic, great defender, great finisher. But he's got a big opportunity here. Fred VanVleet out with his ACL injury, most likely, the whole year. But this Rockets team does not have a lot of guards. So if you ask me, I feel like he's going to be running the offense a little bit. He's going to have the opportunity to be handling the ball, kind of running the point. They have a lot of forwards and big men, and he's kind of just the one guy, him and Reed Shepherd, I feel like are going to be running the offense. Now he's got Kevin Durant on the squad with him. I don't really know too much about how KD is when it comes to, being the vet, the mentor, all that. I kind of feel like he just goes out there and does his thing. But if that's the case, who better to learn from than Kevin Durant? I feel like he's going to be able to develop a good all-around offensive game with Kevin Durant on the team. That would be my number one pick, Amen Thompson. This one's kind of a little iffy because he's already a solid player. People know about him, but Franz Wagner. I feel like the Magic and Franz himself dealt with a lot of injuries last season. Felt like they could have made a deep playoff run, but they just kind of got unlucky. And with the pickup of Spencer's boy, Desmond Bane, they kind of have a little bit of a better roster. So, I feel like the Magic in general have something to prove. I feel like they're going to it's definitely a top 4 team in the East. And, it's kind of Paolo's team, but I feel like Franz is going to come out and be like, you know what? Like, I'm really that guy. So, those are my 2 picks. And then last but not least, my guy. I love this guy. I was talking about him for our full court report, the OG pod, Stephon Castle.
Okay.
All the eyes are going to be on Wemby. I feel like everybody's kind of expecting Wemby to, be all NBA first team, DPOY, even a MVP front runner. But he's got a great opportunity to come out the gates with kind of like a chip on his shoulder. I feel like, show people that Wemby's not the only guy on this team. Him and, Wemby and Fox aren't the only two that can really be a star player. And, I'm not the GM of the Spurs or nothing, but he's kind of fighting for his job a little bit. They have De'Aaron Fox as a guard. They just drafted Dylan Harper. What are you really going to do with three starting caliber guards on the team? So I feel like Stephon Castle is going to come out and be like, you know what? I'm the guy. I'm the one that everybody's got to worry about. So yeah, those are my three picks. Feel like you can't go wrong with anyone, but I feel like the NBA is just getting younger and younger. So there's plenty of people. I'm sure you guys will definitely bring up some other options.
Yeah, actually, you had one of my picks for who's going to have a breakout season. I was thinking Franz too. I think the Magic are, I don't want to spoil anything for later, but I think the Magic are situated pretty nicely. The Desmond Bain trade, obviously, I think that's a really big pickup. I think he gives them another player that can create shots for themselves. And I felt like they were kind of missing that at times, especially as a floor spacer. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he's going to be able to help that team. But Franz is going to have a great season.
So I think it's hard to say the heights that this player can reach this season because of how the team played. And it was like such a, I don't know, such a talking point last year when this team was, blazing through the playoffs, the Indiana Pacers, that is. And it's this whole idea of, they don't really have, they don't play through one player, and it's hard for any one player to really stand out. But I think Andrew Nembhard is poised for a breakout season in 2025. Last year, he only averaged 10 points and 5 assists per game. He started 65 games for Indiana. And even in the playoffs, his averages didn't really jump up to anything crazy. It was up to 12.5 points per game. But now, Halliburton's going to miss the entire year with the Achilles. And also, TJ McConnell, who's kind of like their backup, spark plug point guard off the bench, he's dealing with a hamstring injury that's supposedly going to sideline him through mid-November. So I think that Nembhard has a really good opportunity to really step into the place of Halliburton, kind of be that focal point of the offense. I feel like he has a lot of untapped potential. Even going back to his time at Gonzaga, I think he was at Florida and Gonzaga, but mainly at Gonzaga. He was one of my favorite players to watch. I felt like he had such a good control of an offense. He was such a good point guard, basically, in every such a good decision maker. But now I think he's going to have a lot more of an opportunity to demonstrate what he can do as a scorer and just a lead guard, because I think he's been playing the two a lot with Halliburton. So I'm really excited to see what he can do. I feel like they're going to need him. If they're going to be competitive at all this year, I mean, they lost, like I said, Halliburton's out for the year, and then they lost Miles Turner to Milwaukee. So it's they're down a lot of guys already. So if they're going to be competitive at all, they're going to need some other guys to step up, and I think he's going to be the main one to do so. So that's my guy, Andrew Nembhard. I wouldn't be shocked if he's one of the leading candidates for most improved. But yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do this year.
And before you go, Spencer, Andrew Nembhard has definitely done the Knicks dirty in the playoffs. But like you said, Jory, he's not putting up insane stats. He's a solid player, but he's got a lot of big moments, especially in the playoffs. Hits deep threes. Had that one, I can't remember who he did it to, but he had that one crazy.
I think that was
against Shea.
Yeah, just that crazy play. Put on a crazy, handle display. Hit the step back jumper.
Yeah, that was nuts.
Just he's got a couple highlights, and he does it a lot in the big moments.
Yeah,
So,
he's a big shot maker. And I think that him having the opportunity to be the primary ball handler probably for this Pacers team going into the season is going to really open up him, like just in general. Because when I was looking at the Grizzlies and Desmond Bane and stuff, all the times that Ja went down, it allowed Desmond Bane to really unlock his full like potential as like a space creator, as like a shot maker. And I think he's going to have the same kind of upward trajectory. As far as which player I think is going to have a breakout season, I also wanted to talk about Alperen Sengun. I think Kevin Durant is going to really open up the floor for Sengun. And last year, I think he averaged 19, 10, and 5. And with KD next to him, I think all of his shot or shooting splits are going to increase. Like he's going to get so many more easy buckets because people are just going to be afraid to leave KD open. And we're talking about Amen Thompson too, the player that he is. I think he's going to have a great year, but I think Alperen Sengun is going to be the real difference maker. However good he can play is going to be the determining factor for how far they can go in the playoffs.
I'm kind of surprised that both of you said players on the Rockets and didn't mention Reed Shepherd.
Reed is going to be nice, though.
I think he's the guy that's going to be the breakout on that team because I feel like Şengün is already kind of elevated himself to like, you know, maybe not like best center in like I don't think he's the best center in the league, but
I feel like he's like a French superstar.
Yeah, like he's up there with the best centers in the NBA. And then Amen last year, like, you know, he broke onto the scene being like one of the best defenders in the league. And I saw a lot of people like drawing comparisons to like him and Kawhi, and I really don't see it at all. Like, I think they just see it because of the defense, but I'm like, Kawhi was never at like, I don't even think at anywhere close to athletic Amen is. And Kawhi's also, I mean, he didn't start his career as like a really good shooter, but Kawhi has developed into like genuinely one of the most efficient shooters like we've ever seen.
His mid-range is deadly.
I don't know if Amen really can. I mean, who's to say? But I don't know if I really see that. But I think Reed is the guy that's gonna, because especially just going from what he was last year, where he was like barely even in the lineup at all, to now probably being the starter, because with Fred VanVleet being out, I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be Reed is the guy that's gonna take that next step. I mean, he was a top 3 pick, so like the expectations are high for him at least, and I think a lot of their success will hinge on how good he can be, because I think everyone else in that lineup is going to be fine. But if he's the one that's either struggling or doing really well, the Rockets, who knows what they can achieve.
Well, you could call me a casual, but I'm just not too informed on Reed Shepherd and his game.
Yeah.
I didn't watch. I'm not the biggest college sports, regardless if it's football or basketball. I'm not really too much into college, so I don't have a clue what he was doing in college. But I don't know. I don't know nothing about him. It's like that Shaq meme.
I think
about Reed. I think I didn't really know too much about how he was going to be able to play, specifically on defense. But from the short spurts that he was playing, like I was surprised how well he was able to get the ball, get steals and stuff like that. And shooting percentage wise, I think he did a good job, like in the short amount of time that he had to get buckets. He was pretty efficient.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know if he's like a true point guard per se, like you know, he's not like I guess what I was saying, like with Nembhard, like I don't know if he's that like control the whole offense. He's kind of more of like a combo guard, and like Spencer was saying, like a really good shooter, like someone who can play off the ball like really well. Like I don't want to say he's like Steph Curry in this, like he's not Steph Curry obviously, but like I think he can be like a Steph Curry where like they use a lot of other players to get him open off the ball and like use him kind of as like a shooting guard, basically, like running around.
I could see him in like a JJ Redick kind of role for them, but with better defense.
Yeah. But I think he does have really good IQ. Like I think he can definitely be a point guard. But I just don't know like if that's what they want, like in year 2, Reed Shepherd being like the focal point of the team.
If they let Amen like really run the offense as like the one, and then use sets to get Reed open, like I feel like that could be a scary offense.
Exactly. Yeah. So, like, I really don't know what to expect from him, but I feel like, again, just going from like, because his rookie season was pretty underwhelming, I think, and that's why a lot of people don't know about him, I think. But he's a huge opportunity right now to burst onto the scene. So we'll see. All right. Now we're going to talk about teams that basically a breakout teams that you think are going to take the biggest leap from last year to this year. I guess I can start. Justin, you were mentioning a guy on the team that I'm going to talk about. That being Steph Castle. I think he's going to be a huge part of why I think the Spurs are going to get back to the playoffs this year. I really don't expect much shakeup in the Western Conference this year in terms of like the teams that go back to the postseason. Like I expect the Thunder, the Nuggets, the Rockets, Timberwolves, Lakers, probably the Clippers again. Like I don't really expect a lot of the teams to kind of fall out of the playoff picture, but I feel like San Antonio, with everything, is really lining up for them to really take that next step. Obviously, you need a star player, and they have that in Wemby. But I feel like they did a really good job this offseason, kind of like building around Wemby. Like obviously last year they brought in De'Aaron Fox, which was like a huge trade. And like you mentioned, Justin, like they had a good offseason with getting Dylan Harper, who honestly could be a starter in a lot of other places, but he's probably just going to be a guy off the bench who comes in and provides energy and minutes and stuff. So that's a nice luxury to have. Steph Castle, who won Rookie of the Year, he's going to come in and continue to develop. And I think a really underrated signing for the Spurs this offseason was they got Luke Cornett. And I know like a lot of people are just like, whatever, it's Luke Cornett. Like, who cares? Like, this is just some big, center that tries to contest shots 15 feet away. But like, I think he and Wemby, I think that's exactly the type of center that like Wemby can play next to. I think Wemby can play with anybody, but like he's another huge body who can like be physical down low and kind of allow Wemby to just roam around and like do Wemby things. And I feel like Wemby also, just in terms of his development, like he, in the few like preseason games that I've seen, like highlights, he looks a lot more. I don't want to say he looks like bigger. Like I don't think he like his stature, like he doesn't look like more muscly or but he just looks, or at least like he gives off that he has a lot stronger like base, maybe like a stronger core. Like he's moving guys like off his spot a lot easier, and like he's not getting like back down, and like it's just he looks a lot sturdier, I guess I would say. So I think that's definitely going to help Wemby a lot this year, and I think if he can stay healthy, obviously the sky's the limit with him. He could be the best player in the league. So I think San Antonio is going to be the one that takes a leap this year.
Yeah, I had them on my list as well. Unless I'm tripping, this will be the first year that they have a full season with De'Aaron Fox, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
last year,
Wemby could very well be in the MVP conversation. Could very well be All NBA first team. Most likely, a little bit of a spoiler. Most likely going to be the DPOY.
Oh, this guy's spoiling stuff.
But yeah, I had them on my list. I also, as much as I hate to say it, have the Atlanta Hawks on the list. There's been this narrative that Hawks haven't been getting Trae Young any help, but the last few years they've been doing a pretty solid job drafting. They have Jalen Johnson. He's coming off of an injury. So this day and age, coming off of an injury doesn't particularly mean much. Most guys come in and they're right back to what they were doing. And he was having a great season last year before that happened. Zachary Ristashe, I feel like, I didn't watch too much Hawks basketball last year, so don't really know much about him. He was the first overall pick, kind of, he didn't win Rookie of the Year, so I kind of feel like he's been people just kind of look past him like, he's all right. But I think he'll be, he's, this is his job. He's definitely been working on his game in the offseason. I feel like he's going to make a bigger jump. And then they had two pretty good pickups in the offseason, Kristaps and Luke Kennard. Great floor spacer, great big man defender. But yeah, the Hawks looking good. And then this is my opportunity to glaze the Knicks. The New York Knicks, even though,
Oh my gosh.
made it to the second round of the playoffs, Eastern Conference is wide open right now. Celtics dealing with dealing with the Jason Tatum injury, lost Kristaps, and the Knicks. We had a lot of good signings in the offseason. The whole thing last year, the last couple years was we have no depth. Picked up Yabusele, picked up Jordan Clarkson, had Malcolm Brogdon until he decided to retire. But yeah, my New York Knicks. I'm excited. This might be the most excited I've ever been for an NBA season. If I'm being honest.
I agree. I don't know what it is, the energy about this season, but I can't wait.
It's going to be a good one.
Maybe it's because they're back on NBC and we get to hear songs again.
Yeah.
Wait, we got to talk later about the NBA on Prime theme song. Have you guys heard that?
No.
I don't think I did.
It's a banger. It's a banger.
Amazon Prime?
Yeah, the NBA on Amazon Prime has
Oh
its
my
own little
goodness.
jingle, and it's fire. It's actually fire.
Okay.
We got to play that before we dip. But building off what you were saying about the East being wide open, I think that's exactly why the Magic are going to take such a huge leap. Last season, they were the 7th seed, and I'd be shocked if they don't finish in the top 3 or 4 seeds at the end of this season. Obviously, Desmond Bane was a huge pickup. I feel like Tyus Jones getting signed there was an underrated pickup as well. I think they re-signed Mo Wagner also. I think that's an
Yeah, I
important
think
piece
so.
too.
Yeah.
The Magic could really be dangerous going into next season. Going back to the Spurs, because I do think they're going to be a really good team. Nobody mentioned Carter Bryant for the Spurs yet. And I feel like his defensive capabilities are exactly what the Spurs need right now. And they're just building a team of scary defenders. Like in 2 to 3 years, they could really be the most lockdown team in the NBA. I would not be surprised.
Yeah. That's a good point. Because, I think the headline was Dylan Harper in the draft, but he's really underrated. Yeah, that team is
Very scary.
What college did that guy go to? Carter Bryant? Was it UConn?
I think he went to Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about college ball.
Yeah, University of Arizona. But I mean, if his offensive capabilities can match what he's got defensively, that team could really be ridiculous.
Mhm.
And then they still have guys like Jeremy Sohan and
You always hate on that guy.
I do hate on that guy, but he's got clamps. Like, I don't think he's doing anything like offensively that much for them, but I also don't think he has to do that much offensively anymore. Like before they got De'Aaron Fox and before the team kind of moved the way that it was moving, he had a bigger ask on offense than he's asked to do now.
Yeah.
And now that his role has kind of shrunk to only doing what he's best at, just locking up and maybe get like fast break buckets or like when the team needs him to hit like a wide open jumper, I think he can do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have been. I don't know if there's evidence of me saying it on the podcast, but I know for a fact I've said it either in the group chat or to you guys in person. It's looking like another little Duncan Parker Ginobili little situation over there in San Antonio, man. I don't know. This team 3 years from now is going to be dangerous. It's going to be scary.
Yeah. I don't know how they got so lucky. I mean, I don't know if it's a little bit of luck, but the way they've drafted the past couple of years has been insane. Like, obviously to get Wemby and then Steph Castle winning Rookie of the Year last year, and now they have Dylan Harper. Like, geez, man.
The draft lottery just keeps giving them respect.
Yeah, like I'll be shocked if this team doesn't grow together and develop into I don't know, kind of similar to like what the Thunder have done past couple of years, with all their players that they've gotten. So it's gonna be interesting. I think again, I think it all hinges on Wemby and his health. Like I'm not really concerned about how good he can be. Like obviously he's fantastic talent, but I just hope that he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
He was dealing with that blood clot sting last year. So
But yeah, this wasn't real quick. This wasn't, on the rundown or anything, but I feel like ever since the NBA switched to like the top 3 teams having the same odds to get the number 1 pick in the draft, I'm not too big of a fan of it. I mean, I guess it makes, the league in general a little bit more interesting, but like why are the Mavericks getting the number 1 pick? Why are the Spurs? I mean, the Spurs weren't, that good, but like why are the Spurs getting top 3 picks? Like it needs to be the bad teams that get these picks. Like I'm sick and tired of seeing the Hornets stink every year. I'm sick and tired of watching the Wizards stink every year.
yeah.
Yeah. But it's to get rid of tanking. The Sixers ruin the league.
Yeah.
And like
Awesome.
that, it's 6. I mean, I guess they kind of, they were dealing with the Wemby injury, Paul George injury, but like, dude, they don't need VJ Edgecombe. Like,
Yeah.
He's going to be nice, though.
he is going to be nice, and that's why I'm salty. I don't want the Sixers to be good.
Yeah. They got an interesting little depth chart now in the backcourt with him and Maxey and Quentin Grimes, who kind of had a nice season last year.
Quinn Grimes, I miss that guy on the Knicks, bro.
You guys think Embiid is on the clock? Like if Embiid can't figure out how to get it done with the current core, you think he might get moved?
Well, is that guy even playing? Like, what's good with that guy?
Let's transition to our next question then, because I feel like you could ask that for what we're going to talk about. Which star player do you think has the most approved this season? Do you think it's Embiid?
I have a few players, like honestly.
Yeah, I got 2. I got 2 guys.
You want to
I
go
got
first,
4.
Vince?
Yeah, I got 4. So first off, we already talked about Wemby. Obviously, this is the best team that the Spurs have put around Victor Wembanyama to this point. They're expecting a bigger season, certainly a playoff push of some kind from that team, and I think they go as far as Wemby can take them. I think Paolo has got a lot to prove this season because, again, this is the best team that's been around Paolo to this point. So if they want to make a run, a deep playoff push, maybe try to go to the conference finals or something, the East is wide open and they could do that. Now, on the opposite end, I have LaMelo Ball. I feel like he's got a whole lot to prove this season. They keep drafting top 10, top 5 draft picks basically every single season, and the team isn't really getting better. And I don't know how many years you can continually do this before you have to ask, is LaMelo the guy for the team? And then back to Embiid, which we just kind of mentioned. His health has certainly been a concern recently. And the team has other pieces that they trust and are younger to build around. He's kind of older than the rest of the core outside of Paul George at this point. And if he and Paul George can't figure out how to gel with the current core and make a real push in the playoffs, I feel like they got to be going a different direction too. They might just go younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's every time we do one of these season preview episodes, we always bring up that guy Embiid and his health and all that because I don't know if I saw it in like my camera roll or if I was looking at the Full Court Report Instagram, but I had said it might have even been a part of our intro. If that guy Wemby can't win it this season, I don't think they're ever going to win it. We always talk about this guy Embiid.
You mean Embiid,
whether,
right? I think he said Embiid. I think
Yeah,
he
he
said
said
Wemby.
Oh yeah, Embiid. My bad, Joel Embiid. I just like I don't know. It's always either his health or can he dominate like he did in his MVP season, which still to this day don't know if he deserved it because that was before they did the 65 game rule. He didn't even play 65 games and they gave him the MVP. So I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't. I can't stand the Sixers. If you've seen any of our full court report episodes, you know I can't stand the Sixers. But uh, you know, I'll move on. I'll give you my list of players. I don't know if he's really got too much to prove because he's already got it done. But SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander,
Really?
at
That's
least
an
for
interesting
me,
pick.
going into the finals, I don't know. They kind of had it easy going against the Pacers, in my opinion. But
I don't
the
know.
whole
Easy, but it
They
was
pretty
7 games.
Yeah, that was a. I don't know.
I don't know.
but that kind of helps my point a little bit is you can't always trust these younger teams when it comes to the big moments. Some of them, lack of a better word, since we're on the You Didn't Ask podcast, and that guy Tyler clearly doesn't care about language. The younger teams kind of shit the bed sometimes when it comes to the big moment. So, I feel like SGA kind of has to prove that last season wasn't a fluke. You know, a lot of people had the Thunder as their finals favorite, at the beginning of last season, just kind of based off the roster, but they definitely have a chance to go back to back. And I feel like SGA kind of has to prove that it wasn't a fluke and that the young guys can get it done in this day and age. But
It's interesting that point you made about the Thunder because as a big time Thunder hater, I feel like he doesn't have the most to prove just because he kind of did everything last season. Like his legacy to me is cemented off that year, winning Finals MVP, first team All NBA. Like he
Yeah.
really did it all.
Yeah,
Scoring
no.
title.
I definitely agree with what you're saying but there's going to be a point in the next year or two where the Thunder are going to have to start. I mean, they already kind of have. They've given SGA his money. They gave Chet his money, but there's going to be a point where they're going to have to play. They're going to have to pay a couple of more of their younger guys, and who knows if they're going to be able to keep that whole starting core or their just their core in general. If they can keep that together, and there's going to be a point where it might just be SGA, Chet, and a bunch of random guys they pick up on 1 or 2 year contracts out of free agency. They'll be a playoff team, but who knows if they're going to keep making the finals.
Yeah, but if they're in win now mode and they already won now, like as a Knicks fan, would you feel like Jalen Brunson had the most to prove if they won this season, but they weren't good? Like
No, but that's the perfect segue because he's my other guy.
Okay.
That everybody knows that. Well, not everybody knows. We got some haters, obviously, but the Knicks had in my opinion, a top 5 starting lineup in the NBA last season, and the whole issue was there's no depth, no bench depth. Tibbs doesn't play anybody but the starters. New coach, we have depth. This East wide open. This is the year for Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks to get it done. So those are my two guys. My two guys, SGA and Brunson. I feel like, they're superstars. Everybody already knows about them, household names, but for the true ball knowers like myself, I feel like those are the two guys I think that have a lot to prove.
Oh my gosh.
This guy.
Interesting. I don't know if I can really get behind the SGA thing. I don't know. I just like what Spencer said. He literally achieved everything you could possibly achieve in a season last year. And I get what you're saying. Like now the clock is kind of ticking because they got to start. Like I'm pretty sure Chet's extension and Jalen Williams' extension both kick in next year. So like that money's gonna go against the salary cap, and now I think they're gonna have to see if they can bring back Hartenstein and like Caruso. So it's like, yeah, now like this season they definitely want to try and capitalize when they still have everybody, but I mean they got
a ring.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of just the first two guys popped in my head. I was like, yep, that's what we're going with.
But the Jalen Brunson one makes sense. It definitely makes sense. I feel like they have a lot. But I got another guy in the Eastern Conference who I think it might be a make or break season for him and this team. Donovan Mitchell.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's the pick.
After they had the second most wins in a season in franchise history last year. You know, they had I feel like they started the season like something crazy. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was like 19-0 or something wild. Um, yeah, but and don't get me wrong, like Donovan Mitchell is not the reason why the Cavs have like struggled since he's been there. And I don't think he was really the problem in Utah either, like why they weren't like successful in the playoffs. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's their star player. Whether you think, like whether you think that or not, like he's the one that's getting the MVP votes and all NBA teams and all that stuff. So he's kind of the guy that is the face of that team. Despite them having like really good players like Evan Mobley, who's the DPOY, and Darius Garland, Jared Allen, et cetera, et cetera. But I really do feel like this is kind of the breaking point. This is year 4 already for him in Cleveland, which is crazy. It's wild that he's been
Yeah,
there for so
time is
long.
flying.
It feels like 4 years to me. Feels like he's been there for a minute.
Yeah, but it's just crazy to think that he's never been out of the second round in his career. And I feel like this season, after last year, like all the injuries that they suffered in the playoffs and falling to the Pacers, I feel like this is kind of his moment. And I was kind of saying this last year, I think during the playoffs, where I'm like, I feel like he's the one guy in the league that hasn't really had, like one of the top players in the league that hasn't really had like his moment in the sun. Like I think of like all the top players in the league that have gone, obviously like Jokic, he had his finals run. Luca had his finals run. Last year we had SGA and Tyrese Halliburton like at the top of the league. Obviously Giannis. Even like Devin Booker out in Phoenix, like the year they got to the finals, like he was like, on top of everything. Donovan Mitchell is kind of just like that guy who hasn't really had that. And I feel like he's like as talented as all of those players, but like if not more talented, but he just hasn't really had that moment. And I feel like he's got to capitalize now while the team is, still put together, because I can see a world where if it doesn't work out again this year, they just decide to like blow it up. Like they move on from maybe Darius Garland, Jared Allen, etc., and try and rebuild. But I don't know. I feel like the clock is ticking now for him and this team.
Yeah. And I kind of feel bad for him because he had that whole, I think it was against the Nuggets in the bubble, maybe.
Yeah,
I think it was like that whole battle that he had with
Him and
him
Jamal
and
Murray.
Jamal
Him and
Murray.
Jamal,
Yeah, like
they
they
were
were putting
hooping.
like 50, 60 a night. Like everybody knows that Donovan Mitchell can
yeah,
get to it when he needs to, and he's had great teams around him, a lot of people hate on Rudy Gobert, but he had a solid team when he was with the Jazz. He's got an even better team with the Cavaliers. And just I don't know, they can't get past that hump in the second round. I don't know what it is,
yeah.
but I like that pick, Jory. I really like Donovan Mitchell. He should have came to the Knicks.
Yeah, yeah.
You
So we'll
think they
see.
get the starting lineup they have now, though, if they got Donovan Mitchell?
Well, I don't know because obviously you probably wouldn't have Brunson. Probably wouldn't have Mikal Bridges.
You think they still trade for Cat?
Who
In the
knows? You never
Donovan
know.
Mitchell?
You never know. We'd have to take it to the 2K my league or whatever it's called in 2K now. We'd have to take it there and see what happens. Do a little simulation.
Oh my gosh.
So who you guys got for Rookie of the Year?
Ooh,
There you go.
it's pretty easy
Yeah.
pick for me.
Honestly, I feel like with all the other top rookies, like Dylan Harper, BJ Edgecombe, Trey Johnson is another guy in Washington who I like a lot. I just feel like they're going to be buried on their depth charts. Like there's just players ahead of them and they're not really going to get the opportunity. And I just feel like Cooper Flag is just going to, especially with Kyrie being out, like for the majority, maybe not the majority of the season, but like a good chunk of the season, like that's going to give him even more opportunity to stand out. I don't know. And he's just so pro ready. Like he's just so like I don't know. It's kind of similar to what geez, who was it? Might have been Paolo. Where I was just like he doesn't was it Paolo? I can't remember what player it
I mean,
was.
Paolo was definitely pro ready though.
Yeah,
Like
where
he had to
it's
do.
just like it doesn't seem like he has a lot of weaknesses in his game. Not to say that he's like a perfect player, but like if he's not scoring one night, he's going to impact the defensive end, or he's going to rebound, or he's going to pass, or he's going to do this or that. Like, and I don't know. I just feel like he's going to come in and kind of look a lot better than a lot of rookies look like.
Yeah. I think Ace Bailey has like a good shot though
Yeah,
at being able to get it too. I think he,
yeah.
to me, is one of the only other rookies that's going to have the green light to put up enough shots to even compete with Cooper Flag. Because if Cooper's like already running the one sometimes for the Mavericks, they're expecting for him to have a gigantic role on the team, rightfully so. But if you're not a guy that's going to be able to start and get like a lot of minutes and a lot of shots up, I don't really see how you're going to be able to be in this rookie of the year race.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
agree. He's probably the honorable mention, Ace Bailey, because who the hell
But yeah.
knows what's going on in Utah?
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. But yeah, I picked Cooper Flag, and I feel like he's kind of in a similar situation as to how I was talking about Amen Thompson. He's got Anthony Davis to learn from. Like almost the perfect comparison, if you ask me. Just great defensive player, great inside finisher coming out of college, and he's going to have the opportunity to learn from one of the best at kind of how to develop an offensive game that suits him, because AD can shoot the three, but he's not just chucking them. He's not a catch and, I mean, he can catch and shoot, do his thing, but he's more of a mid-range post up guy, relies on his defense and athleticism. And I feel like Cooper Flag is just almost the second coming of Anthony Davis. And I feel like, the Mavericks are still, even with no Kyrie, I feel like the Mavericks are still good enough to get close to the playoffs. They'll probably be a play-in team. And I feel like the team success will help with Cooper Flag's, rookie of the year candidacy.
Yeah. And even before Kyrie comes back, just being able to have Kyrie as a mentor and have him in his ear, I think that'll help his development too.
Yeah. I'm just so curious to see how they manage like their front court depth. Because like you said, Justin, they obviously have Anthony Davis, Cooper Flag. They also have Derek Lively. They also have Daniel Gafford, and they also have PJ Washington. And I'm like, to me, all of those guys could be starters on a lot of teams. And it's just I'm curious to see how Jason Kidd will like manage all those minutes. But yeah, and then we'll see what happens like with the point guard situation. I feel like that could be a problem, but
I'm gonna say it now. I think they're gonna trade Daniel Gafford. They're gonna trade that guy because
I could see that.
Just kind of don't need him at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that.
And
probably one of them.
Out of all of those guys that you named, out of all those bigs, I feel like he's probably the worst one. But not to say that he's bad. He's a starting caliber center for sure. But
I actually think he might be better than Derek Lively, to me at least. But I think the future of the team is probably younger, so they're going to go with Derek Lively.
Yeah.
But they're both extremely talented. I don't think you could go wrong with either one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like this rookie class is going to be great.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to watch what they can achieve. Last year, it didn't really feel like there was like that guy that stood out amongst the rest. Not to say that it was a bad draft, but I just feel like this year it has some heavy hitters. So I'm really excited.
I'm hyped for Walter Clayton too. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Where is he? I don't even remember.
He's on the Jazz too.
Oh, right. Okay. Exactly. See, that's what I mean, dude. Who the hell knows what's going on over there?
Yeah, the Jazz are just doing stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Like, are they gonna trade what's his name?
Lauri.
Yeah, Lauri Markkanen.
Lauri.
Who knows? Yeah, see, if he gets out of there, Ace Bailey's gonna take 30 shots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Like
if
he's
he has a chance to like really put up insane numbers,
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be hilarious.
it's gonna be a funny season.
All right. Defensive player of the year. Honestly, until this guy retires, I'm picking Wemby every season.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I picked him.
genuinely don't
I
think
picked him.
like I was thinking this so last year we talked about it a lot. Dyson Daniels had this like crazy season with a record breaking like steals. Like he had the most steals in a season since Gary Payton's Defensive Player of the Year award season in 1996, and they still gave the award to Evan Mobley. So I feel like the league always kind of I don't know if I don't know. They always like go towards big men when it comes to defensive player of the year. Like obviously Gobert has won a ton of times. Jaren Jackson won a couple years
Yeah.
ago. Like
Marcus Smart did sneak a DPOY in there though.
true. So it's like every once in a while you might get like a guard, but like I feel like for the most part they always kind of gravitate towards bigs. And like I don't know. If Wemby hits the 65 game mark, like there's literally nothing he can't do defensively. So
Yeah. I feel like
he
his
hasn't
block
had one yet.
numbers
He hasn't even
alone
had yeah.
are just gonna put him over.
He almost won as a rookie defensive player of the year. He finished second to Gobert. And then last season he wasn't eligible because of his blood clots. So I feel like if he's healthy, plays the games, like he's a shoo-in. That's like the easiest bet I think you can make this NBA season. I don't know. I guess is there anyone else that you like think not to say like has a chance, but like that deserves consideration? Like I know we talked about Amen Thompson earlier having like a breakout season, but I feel like he could kind of be in the conversation.
I'm hoping Jaren, but like I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, who knows? I feel like Evan Mobley could probably go back to back, perhaps.
yeah. Maybe.
But I said Wemby.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be Wemby.
I think Chet out there in OKC could potentially have some conversation, be in the conversation if he stays healthy. He also got hurt last year. I think he like broke his hip or something or pelvis something. I forget what happened. But he only played 32 games in the regular season last year. So we'll see. Yeah, so Wemby seems like the consensus. All
So
right.
you have the MVP?
Yeah, so we can talk about who we think is going to win the most valuable player award. I'm going to be honest. I wrote down all my answers for all the other questions, but I genuinely don't have an answer for the MVP at this moment in time. So I kind of want to see where the conversation goes. I mean, I have an idea of like who I think, but I just can't boil it down to one guy. I feel like this is going to be
I feel like there's so many different ways that NBA season could play out. At least at like the top of the like West and stuff like that.
yeah.
And the top of the East too. I feel like it's going to come down to whoever's got a top 3 record,
Yeah.
the best player on the best team.
All right, I think I have like 5 guys who realistically can win. And I'm just not sure, like you said, Spencer, how it's going to play out. Obviously, Jokic and Shea, who have kind of been at the top past like 2 years. I think they finished like 1 and 2 the past 2 years. So, obviously, I feel like they're always in the conversation. I think Giannis is going to be in the conversation, but I don't know how good the Bucks are going to be.
Right. I feel like he's going to have the stats to be in the combo, but record-wise, he's just going to be out of it.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Maybe with the East being like a little weaker, the Bucks, like if Giannis just has like an all-time season, like I can see it, but I feel like Giannis is going to have a really good like statistical season because they're going to ask him to do so much.
Yeah.
With the loss of Dame, and so we'll see. Luka, I've been saying this for years. I always feel like he's always in the conversation, but I feel like now, especially with LeBron's injury, him being, 40 years old, who knows like how many games he plays this year. I feel like Luca is primed to be like, I don't know, the focal point of that team this season. Finally kind of hand the reins over to him. He's a full season now, or like a full off season. Like, obviously he was traded last year, so he gets like the full off season and is working with JJ and the whole team. So he's a little bit more familiar. And I don't know, there's like a whole thing all off season of him like getting in really good shape.
Yeah,
if
skinny
that's, like,
Luca.
I don't know if that's gonna stand like throughout the season, but it seems like his mind is in a really good place. So I can see Luca definitely. And super, 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 super dark horse candidate, Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking that. I was thinking that too.
I respect the respect. I'm not gonna lie.
Respect the respect.
But I was only thinking of two guys. And the one I didn't go with was Luca. It's DeAndre Ayton, so big whoop, like who really cares? But I've saw two different post practice interviews of whoever's asking the question. They'll be like, "Oh, have you gotten in touch with LeBron and Luca?" Or, "Oh, what's it like working with LeBron and Luca?" And he's like, I haven't heard from, like, when he first got traded, he was like, I haven't heard from either one of them. This was like 2 weeks after the trade or signing, whatever it was. He was like, I haven't heard from either one of them. And then just recently, within the last month or so, somebody asked, "Oh, what's it like practicing with LeBron and Luca? What's it like working with them?" And he was like, they haven't been out here. So, it's DeAndre Ayton, who really cares, but I feel like there might be a little dysfunction with the Lakers, and that's why I didn't go with Luca. But my pick for the most valuable player, we've been talking about him a whole lot this episode, Victor Wembanyama. Victor Monk Wembanyama.
Monk.
I feel like I don't know, everything is pointing towards the Spurs being a solid team. Everything's pointing towards Victor Wembanyama having a great season, especially what I've been seeing in the preseason. The guy's looking like a skinny Shaq, dude. He like you said, Jory, he's moving people off his spot. I've seen at least 4 highlights of him really bodying someone and getting an easy dunk down low. So I'm going to go with Victor Wembanyama. Not really a whole lot of reason to it, just kind of a gut feeling. I feel like Victor Wembanyama is going to sneak away with this MVP.
I could see it. I
mean, I honestly just feel like SGA is going to go back to back. But on the off chance he doesn't, I did have Jalen Brunson. I was thinking he might be like a dark horse candidate. And maybe like Ant or something if the Timberwolves have like a crazy season. But I think it's going to be SGA again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, SGA is just so consistent. Like, I don't know. He's gotten to the point where I just expect him to put up like 36 and 5 like every single night. And like that's if he's on the best team in the West again, like I don't know, it's going to be difficult to not give it to him. But who knows? But yeah, like I said, I don't know if I have a definitive answer. Because I see it, like you said, like maybe they don't want to give it to SGA again because he just won and they don't want to give him back to back. That's voter fatigue. Maybe that's what it is. The case against Jokic could be like they have a great record, but the Nuggets, they brought in a lot of depth this year, and maybe he just does a little bit less and doesn't put up his I don't know, normal crazy
his usual
stats.
Triple double.
Yeah, like
I feel like even if Jokic pops off though, if they finish as like the 4 seed again, he might just not get the respect from the voters.
Yeah,
if there's another guy putting up better, or not even better numbers, but like comparable numbers, and they're like a 1 or a 2 seed. Ooh, Kevin Durant.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say that. Kevin
Kevin Durant
Durant
could
in
definitely be a dark horse.
his old man years with this new team in the Rockets, they finished what is a 2 seed last year?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if they can stay top three out there in the West, Kevin Durant could most
definitely.
very well get himself another MVP.
That would be cool to see, honestly.
I think the oldest MVP in NBA history is Karl Malone, who won in 1999. So KD is 37.
Ooh,
So he would be literally the oldest MVP of all time if he won.
that would be
Which would be
tough. That would be
interesting.
tough.
But
Speaking of Kevin Durant, he just passed LeBron James as the richest player in NBA history. He's made the most career earnings out of any player ever.
Yeah,
Wow.
he signed for a 2-year 90 extension today.
wow, I missed that news. Interesting. So you think he's going to finish his career in Houston?
I'm hoping that he signs like a 1-day contract or something to go back to OKC just for the culture, but I don't really see it happening. I think he's just going to walk off with whoever is the last guy or last team that he played for.
Yeah. Interesting.
I feel like, I mean, I don't know. Everybody credits LeBron's longevity, but I feel like Kevin Durant, his game kind of suits more to him playing like even maybe 5 more years. Because, LeBron, he still goes out there and he bullies his way to the rim. But Kevin Durant, he's fine settling for mid ranger, post fadeaway. Doesn't really matter to Kevin Durant. A bucket is a bucket. So I feel like Kevin Durant, he might even be able to outlast LeBron.
Potentially.
He was looking good this season. I can't really remember how long ago it was that he tore his Achilles, but he was out there with Phoenix. He was taking whatever he could get. Very efficient, very high scoring, like it usually is. Kevin Durant. I like it. My favorite thing about Kevin Durant, I think I got to say, is he went from being one of the most hated players to just everybody kind of just getting over it. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
old Kevin Durant, bucket getter. Guy's gonna do his thing. Who really cares that he switched up?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he tore his Achilles in the 2019 finals, so that was
That was that long ago.
There's a minute.
Yeah. And then,
What?
he had 2 seasons in Brooklyn, or like 2.5, and then he got traded to Phoenix. Now he's in Houston.
Damn. It
Yeah,
does not
dude.
seem that long ago that happened.
I know, right? He's been around. But I don't know. I just feel like he doesn't get the MVP respect. Like even like he was really never bad in Brooklyn or in Phoenix, but like I feel like he was just never like in the conversation ever. Like it was always like he was never considered.
I feel like
Despite
the public outrage of him going to Golden State kind of kept the voters from giving him the respect that he deserved. Because when he was in Brooklyn, it might have been that second year he was in Brooklyn. That might still be his best season that he's ever had.
Mm,
He was dominant in Brooklyn.
yeah. All right. Well, I guess one thing before we do our championship picks. What did you guys think of LeBron's announcement?
Oh my God.
The
I
second
can't
decision.
believe it. I can't believe it.
Did you
Don't
guys
even
I
think
should
get
have seen it
started.
coming. I should have known LeBron was gonna do that to us, but can't be doing that.
I knew all along it was.
Yeah, you did. You really
You
did.
definitely did say that.
I was just like, come on, dude. To me, he's not gonna announce his retirement like that. Like, I feel like he's gonna. Like, I don't know how exactly. I just don't see him doing like a
You don't think he's gonna have a
sit-down,
farewell tour?
pre-recorded thing. What's that?
You don't think he's gonna have like a farewell tour?
Oh, I mean, I think for sure he's gonna have a farewell tour, but I just don't. I don't think that's how he's gonna announce it. Like, I feel like he's gonna announce it like
Just a media day thing. Be like, yeah, this is my
like
last
maybe
season.
like to a reporter that he like trusts, like that he's built something with, or just release like a statement. Like, I don't think he's gonna.
I don't know. It would have been nice for that guy LeBron to just like show up on the second decision and be like, you know what? I got this much time left, guys.
I'm out here.
Appreciate it while you can, and then I'm riding off into the sunset.
He's consistently said this though about retiring, he's always said like once he's like, I'll know when I want to retire when I like lose passion for like coming to work every day. Where he's like, when I start feeling like it's a grind, like obviously it's a grind. Like playing professional sports is a major toll, but he's like, I don't know, like when I lose that spark, like when I don't want to like wake up early to go get a workout in or like come early to a game and get shots up, like that's when I'll know. But he's like consistently been like, I don't feel that yet. You know, like obviously he might not be the healthiest he's ever been, but like who knows? Like he was literally all NBA second team last year, dude. Like he's still one of the best players in the league, which is absolutely insane. So who knows? That guy could play forever. He could have 5 more years, and no one's ever breaking that scoring record.
So wait, how many points does he got now? He hit 40, right? That was the number. He hit 40. I mean, dude, I don't know. You think he hits 50?
Let's see.
I mean, he's at 50 for regular season and playoffs combined, but regular season, he's at 42K right now. 42,184.
Let's think about this.
That's tough.
What are they scoring? What's he scoring? Like 3,000 a season, probably?
No, not 3,000. 3,000? I don't
Well,
think
what's
anyone
the
scores 3,000? It's more
what's
like,
Wilt's record?
all right, most points in a season. Let's see. Most points. I don't know what Wilt's record is.
Wilt's was 4,000.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But that was when he's
50 some
average.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we talking about? All right, so let's say
29 points in a season is absolutely bonkers.
let's say he puts up like 2,500 in a season, right? That's reasonable.
The most LeBron has ever had in a season was 2478.
Okay.
So he's not.
He's
What
gonna
did
have
you say he's at?
He's probably average.
He's at 42,184.
So if he scores 2,000 a season,
It's probably like 1,800 to 2,000. I would say.
that'll be another
That's 5 more years.
4 or 5 years. Yeah, I don't know if he's getting 50.
Like,
Yeah, he's probably
is LeBron gonna play until he's 50 to get the 50K?
That would be sick. That would be sick,
The
dude.
50 for 50?
That would be insane.
Nah, no way.
You know what? Who's the oldest player to ever play a professional sport?
That's a good question. I mean, there's probably like some golfer if you consider that. You know, like, there's probably some golfers that played until they're like 60s.
According to the AI overview. Oh my God.
What?
The oldest player to ever play a professional sport is Zeldin Bahadur, who played professional soccer in Egypt at the age of 74.
Dude, I saw it's saying a guy who was 91 for me, Sobislaw Zasat.
Oh, yeah.
He completed professional rallying at 91.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
nuts.
Jeez. All right. Well, LeBron
Auto racing.
George Blonda in the NFL at 48 and Nat Hickey in the NBA at 45.
When did Vince Carter retire? Was he 45?
I don't know. He was like 42 or 43, right?
Let's see. This last season was 43.
Yeah, 43.
Damn. I did not think he was that. Ooh, that's
I
crazy.
knew he was in his like early 40s, but man.
He played 60 games that year. That's insane. At 43. Wow. Yeah. I don't know.
You guys trying to become like pro athletes at 100?
Who knows? Who knows what will happen? What we can achieve.
I mean, we won't be able to do any like conventional sport. They're not going to take us, but
we'll make our own sport.
we can get like robots like implanted in our bodies to like help us move or something.
Oh my gosh.
AI controlled.
All right. Time for the for our finals picks. What do you guys got? Who do you think is going to make the finals? And then who do you think is going to win it all?
I have my answer for the East, at least. But out West, it's tough. It's tough to say out West. I'm going to go with OKC or Houston. I don't know why I have such a good feeling about Houston this year, but I feel like they're going to make a deep playoff run. Obviously, OKC just, they just won it. They have a good chance to go back to back. But out east, my New York Knicks, baby. This guy right here is going to lead us to the promised land. And I got to do it. I'm going to take the Knicks to win it all.
Wow.
Interesting.
I mean, if we're being honest, out east, the Magic are an interesting team. They're a little scary, but the only other competition out east for the Knicks is the Cavs.
Well, that kind of leads into what I was thinking. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I got Rockets Cavs.
Interesting.
But I could definitely see it being Thunder Knicks.
The orange and blue matchup out there in the finals, that would be pretty sick.
That'd be gross. Too much orange, too much blue, too much of everything. I mean, really, it should just be the Grizzlies.
Oh my god.
Grizzlies Magic would feed families.
You clowns aren't even making the plan.
Zip it.
Oh gosh.
I just want to beat the Nuggets.
All right, well there you go. I think we're gonna get a Nuggets Knicks finals.
Oh,
I would love it.
I think that's what we're gonna get. I feel like, obviously we haven't had a repeat champion in a handful of years, and I feel like the Thunder are primed to make another run at the title, but I don't know. I just feel like, especially their series against Denver, it was so close, and it really could have gone either way, I think. And I really feel like the winner of that series last year would have won the title.
Yeah.
And the Nuggets, I just feel like they've had, they've obviously won in 2023, and they've had a couple down years, losing to the Timberwolves and then losing to OKC. I just feel like now, I don't know, they've kind of regrouped. They have a whole season now under their new coach, and oh my gosh, Adelman? Is it David Adelman? Yeah, David Adelman. Couldn't remember his name. And now they have depth, which is something Jokic had talked about like all offseason, how he was like, we don't have enough depth on this team. Like we need guys to like come off the bench and really like provide a spark, because last season there was nothing there. And they had a really good starting lineup, but like outside of that, like when they went to the bench, it was a mess. But now they bring in Valanciunas, who I've heard a lot of good things in training camp, saying that he's basically like the second unit Jokic. Like they play through him the same way that they play through Jokic. They brought back Bruce Brown, who was part of their title team, who
Yes, sir.
absolutely love. They got Tim Hardaway Jr. I don't even know like where he's gonna fit into the rotation or if he's gonna really get minutes, but I don't know. I just feel like he's definitely gonna be a piece down the stretch. And then replacing Cam Johnson or replacing MPJ with Cam Johnson, I feel like is a huge addition for this team.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you think that's an upgrade?
I definitely do. I mean, I think, we can debate on who's the better player, like individually, and I wouldn't argue against you if you said MPJ. Like I feel like he's, very talented. I just feel like in terms of what the team needs,
Like a role and fit?
yeah, like I feel like he's a better defender, like a little bit more mobile, which is something that they need. And like he's not going to sacrifice shooting. Like he's one of the most efficient shooters, has been all his career when he was in Phoenix and then when he was in Brooklyn. Like, and now he's playing with the guy who literally always makes everybody's percentages go up. So it's like I'm curious to see like what he's going to achieve this year. I think we're going to get a really good season from Christian Brown, because I'm pretty sure he's in a contract year, so he obviously has a lot to prove. Not to say that he hasn't proved it enough, like they're going to pay him, I think, but I feel like guys always tend to play a little bit harder when they need a contract. And I like Aaron Gordon. Like Aaron Gordon has been like very vocal about like I don't know. He's just he always comes off like ever since he's come to Denver, he's always given like such like wisdom. I feel like he's always talked like he just seems so mature and responsible in the way that he like talks about his role and like the team and everything. And he's basically been saying like like whatever the team needs me to do this year, like I'm willing to do it. Last year I think he continued to develop as an offensive player where he was less reliant on like lobs and Jokic giving him the ball. Like he can create on his own, but he's like, if you need me to play defense and defend the best player, I can do that. Like if you need me to rebound the ball or whatever it is, like play point guard, I'll do it. So I just really feel like he's gonna have a good season. So I don't know, man. I just feel like the Nuggets, it's just I think Jokic is just the best player in the league. And I would be surprised if he doesn't make another finals run in his career. And I feel like this is the best team that he's had in a while. Probably since their title team. Might even be better than their title team. I don't know. But yeah. And as for the Knicks, I don't know, man. Like I was talking about how the Cavs have like a lot to prove and I can see them, but I just feel like they lost a little bit of depth. Like they lost Ty Jerome, who was a really good player for them last year. So I'm kind of a little iffy on like I don't know what that team is going to look like. Whereas the Knicks, yes, they did bring in a new coach and they got to adjust to Mike Brown, but I mean, they have the same core pretty much with Brunson, OG, Cat, Mitchell Robinson. Hopefully, stays healthy. Like you mentioned earlier in the show, Justin. Like I know, like Jordan Clarkson isn't like what he used to be, but I think by the time like the playoffs comes around, like you kind of want more experienced guys off the bench that you can trust. So I feel like I don't know, man. I feel like they just have championship DNA, and like the energy in New York with this team, like since they've put it together, I feel like the city has always been behind them, and I feel like that will carry them, and they don't have to worry about the Pacers anymore. So
They
they're the
can't choke
one.
this one.
The kryptonite is gone. There should be nothing in their way. They don't have to worry about the Pacers. They don't have to worry about the Celtics. Like yeah, I don't know. I don't know if the Magic are ready.
Yeah,
Yeah, take them a minute to gel. You think
but
the Pistons could make a run?
Pistons
I don't
really
feel like
should.
they have enough, but I
Yeah, I
think
just don't know if
they're
they're ready.
talented. I think they're going to be in a good spot like going forward, but I don't think they're ready to contend yet.
so two things that I saw on social media. I'll start with the Pistons thing. That guy, Isaiah Stewart, he had missed that series, the Knicks Pistons series in the first round last year. He said that if he was playing, they would have won that series, which I'm not sure if I'm going to completely disagree with that because it felt like the Pistons were kind of just missing one piece to just kind of be out there being physical. They couldn't really match the Knicks' physicality, even though out of them and the Celtics and the Pacers, they gave us the best. Yeah, they kind of matched our physicality the most. And Isaiah Stewart is kind of like their enforcer. Like he's kind of the guy that it's like, I don't want no smoke, Isaiah. Like he'll rough you up. So I do think that the Pistons could probably get in the second round, depending on who their first round matchup is. But the other thing, he barely plays. He's really young. Guy's name. Now I can't think of the guy's name. Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek on the Knicks. Somebody asked him, with all these new additions on the Knicks, how does he feel about like his role and all that stuff? And I really liked his response. He was saying people say that it's not, it's definitely not easy to get into the NBA, but the hardest thing is to stay in the NBA. And we don't have the greatest guard depth. I feel like it's a lot of forwards and big men over there on the Knicks. But that answer for me, like the way that he views his role and what it takes to stay in the league in general, regardless of his if he's on the Knicks or not, I really liked his answer. So, it's Mike Brown, new coach. He could have anybody playing out there. And I don't know. It's basically like a whole new team almost. We have that same starting 5, 6, 6, 7,
Oh,
5, 6, 7 players. But all of our pickups in the offseason have really kind of just been like, this is the year. So
yeah.
I wouldn't put it past the Nuggets to be the matchup, but I feel like out east, it's either the Cavs or the Knicks. And then OKC, Houston, Denver. I'm not sure if Minnesota is going to make as deep of a run, but I feel like those are the 5 teams that you could say are like finals candidates.
Yeah. I think the only thing I'm concerned about with Houston, I guess, is like that point guard, like we mentioned earlier with Reed Shepherd. Like, I think Fred VanVleet is just one of the most underrated players in the league. And I feel like losing him, also like another veteran, that I feel like that could definitely derail part of their hopes.
Yeah,
'Cause, like when
and
the
then him
playoffs
getting
comes
hurt the
around,
whole season.
yeah, like when the playoffs comes around and he's like, Reed Shepherd, maybe he's still the starter. Like that's going to be a matchup that a lot of people are going to target, I think, and that alone could just, throw off their whole game plan. And then I don't know, like the Thunder. Yeah, I don't know, man. They're scary, but what are you gonna do?
What do you guys think about the Clippers with the addition of Bradley Beal?
The YMCA Clippers,
Yeah, the unction.
the auction, the oldest. I think they're the oldest team in the league. I mean, they're going to be interesting, definitely. I mean, I don't know. I just don't trust teams.
Yeah, I don't know if they got the health.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have a
it's-
good team, though.
Yeah, but like, is Kawhi going to be able to play enough games to take them as far as they want to go?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been hearing stuff about James Harden's conditioning. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know how much I even trust those reports though, because I feel like every single year they're always like
Always something.
James Harden fat suit, and then he takes it off and he's shredded. So I don't know. Anything could happen.
Yeah. I mean, they have an interesting collection of players for sure. Bradley Beal, John Collins is there now. I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know if I trust them to stay healthy and get through a season.
Is this their first season in the Intuit Dome? Is that what it is?
I think last season
was
was
Last season?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. I don't know if you guys have been like following this whole Kawhi Leonard story with what is it? Inspire?
Ascension, Aspire, something.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah.
Some company that like, or I don't know. They think that like Steve Ballmer and the Clippers were like circumventing the cap to like pay him more money to come to LA, and I feel like that could loom over the season and kind of derail their focus a little bit. Who knows? But they're going to be interesting. They're definitely going to be a tough out. They're going to be a competitive team. Ty Lue's teams are always competitive, so
Yeah, the West is always going to be nuts.
yeah, it's a bloodbath. But yeah, well, there you go. You didn't ask.
Wait,
Yeah.
you guys want to hear the NBA on Prime theme?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, we can tell Tyler cut it out for copyright, but we can talk about the actual audio.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got an ad.
Real quick, too. I've had this Eagles Vikings game on in the background. The Eagles are up 21-16 right now, and the Vikings have the ball at like the start of the fourth quarter. Eagles might lose a little 3 in a row real quick. I would love to see Carson Wentz get this comeback win.
That would be tough. I did see Jalen Hurts do an 80-yard
Yeah.
to Devontae
Yeah.
Smith.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't see it, but I got the notification about it.
What are they doing with NBC? Are they
yourself.
bringing back the old school? Are they bringing back the old school theme song or no?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the
NBC?
game plan is.
Because that old NBC,
Yeah, I think they're using the round ball rock theme. The da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Okay, that's a hit too.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe again, that's probably why I'm so excited for the season is all the
come on, man. Nobody cares about Duolingo.
Oh,
And what is this? Amazon Shop.
Yeah.
2 ads in one.
all right. You guys
Yeah, okay. Dude, you clowns will never hear the end of it if the Knicks win it. You guys will never hear the end of it. I don't care if this is the only championship I get to see in my whole lifetime. You'll never hear the end of it.
Hey man. We'll see. All right. Well, you didn't ask, but that's our 2025-2026 NBA season preview. So
Yes, sir.
hopefully our predictions are all correct.
Yeah.
But we'll
Tap
see.
back in and see how right or just how insanely wrong we were.
Yeah. It should be fun. It's gonna be a good season. Looking forward
be
to
nice.
it. And yeah. Until next time.
You didn't ask.
Peace.
We're out of here.